afternoon, council members. Hearings are on the approaching early and will be and what's before you is proposed amendments to the Municipal Code 9.116, which was before named civil defense and disaster, which is terminology that is antiquated. And what we did is we updated the municipal code to comply with the state law and federal mandates. And so before you has all of the changes that we've made, the proposed changes that were made in the municipal code.
Question, sir.
Wick. Thank you, Mr. Chair. As we look at the different emergencies, one thing that struck me is are there also, and this may not be your department per se, but provisions for like emergencies for communication shutdowns, i.e. if all the cell capacity, everything that how we talk to each other goes down, is that part of what you guys do, or is that something different that goes on?
We do have contingency plans for interoperability. The city just had a functional exercise to go through what would happen if we lost communications. We do have satellite phones. We do have redundancies in our information systems capabilities, and we can always get resources from the operational area in regards to having ARIES come. So we do have plans that address that. It's also an emergency management plan, which is being revised at this time as well.
Yeah, I seem to remember as we looked at the Emergency Operations Center that we were supposed to come and contact, for example, if all the cell towers happen to go down as well at the same time. So, okay, very good.
Councilmember Rouse. If you're looking at the definitions, the definition of state of emergency, which is under subsection A of the proposed section 020, it provides for the sudden loss or severe loss of energy shortages, also other utilities. It also describes a state of emergency as potentially a case of civil unrest. I think that cell phones are so ubiquitous now that if the capability of using cell phones or not using cell phones, if that went away, I think you could expect civil unrest or at least some problems. And so that would justify the declaration of a state of emergency.
I yield the chair.
Thank you.
I have a question, if I could, Mr. House.
Go ahead.
The city attorney went over all the stuff, and this is all according to Hoyle?
Mr. Chair and members of the committee, yes.
All right. So we're basically just doing a little housekeeping here, right?
Exactly.
Right. Well, may I make a motion?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That we forward this to the city council with unanimous approval.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Real quick little discussion. Did you catch on page 8 the masculine references throughout the page? Somehow it's shifted to he thinks and his duties and upon him throughout that. Maybe you want to just make a little review of the old language that happened to stay in here. And then, let's see. On page 10, the decision of who becomes member. Let's see. If two members of City Council have equal seniority, this is at the last line of the first paragraph. The member whose last name comes either alphabetically, earlier alphabetically shall serve as mayor. Is there some other way to do that? Or change it the opposite, make it the last person or something. Coin toss, draw straw, something. But it just... Teachers everywhere are trying, and coaches are trying like crazy to get away from using that method. Is there some other way we could do it?
Well, Mr. Chair, we could certainly consider some other methods. The one comment as far as a suggestion of a coin flip or something like that would be the fact that it's, what we're trying to do is deal with a situation of succession where we may not have those two council members present to do a coin flip. So we want to have something that operates without further action, in the
Take a
sense.
look at that. That might be just fine the way it is now, but if there's
Okay.
something, because I know that it is actually kind of an issue out there about how that works. And
As a person with the last name of Vincent,
Yes.
I've never been the first one under that kind of scenario. So maybe that's, I'm trying to, subconsciously avoid
well, I'll
responsibility.
support the motion, but just maybe you could take a look at that before it gets finished.
Would seniority not be the way to do it? And that would be even if people were elected at the same time, one with a greater number of votes?
The challenge of a greater number of votes would be that somebody would have to go to the clerk's office and figure out who had the greater number of votes. Maybe you guys remember that, but I don't. So I mean, we could do that. I mean, that's certainly a way
I don't
to do
think
it.
it's, I mean, you're going to have it in the records. It's going to be everywhere. You can get that online, assuming there's still electricity.
That's
Well,
the thing.
keep what-
We're trying to find a very simplistic order of succession. Quite honestly, if we all get down to this point where we've gone from the mayor to the mayor pro tem, and now we're going to the point where we're dealing with council member seniority, gone beyond council member seniority to 2 equally senior council members, and we're doing it by the first letter of their last name, I don't want to be anywhere near this community.
Right. All right. Well,
I'll let it drop. That's all.
Okay.
We're
Any
down
other
to paper,
conversation?
scissors, rocks at that point.
That's
maybe.
right. Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, thank you. We're adjourned.